Hello everybody, my name is Esther Jarrett and with me here.
My name is Damilola. Dami. What's your name, please?
It's not fine.
This is my family, aka J Mikey. This is my family, aka J Mikey.
Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Rasta J TV. My name is Jarrett and I'm your humble host. And once again, we have our guests.
Yeah, my name is Damilola Bamiloye, aka Dami.
My name is Joshua Bamiloye, aka J Mikey.
How was schooling for you?
Schooling? Which one? Which one? Is it
all the levels?
high school,
let's start from
college?
Let's start from primary, secondary to high
Primary
school.
school was pretty much from all my life. I've always been I won't say lonely, but quiet person. I walk alone. I meditate a lot, even from since I was young. I meditate a lot. Walk alone. I just find it comfortable doing that sometimes, So that was that in primary school, So I followed my mates to secondary school. I was happy they were going to Life with I, so I wouldn't want to go. Yeah, I really wanted to go to Life with I because my mates were going. I don't know that you know them. Some of my mates were going. Then I was in Life with I, and for some reasons they took me away from my mate and they put me with the seniors, and that again made me, enclosed me. I was alone and everything. So I spent 1 year in Life with I. The Norita Mefa, still the same guy that always walk alone and always, but it helped me because being alone helped me to hear God better. It helped me to receive instructions and, because when you have too many friends, sometimes you get distracted. It's very good to have friends, especially when you have friends that you have the same understanding, you have the same purpose, you love God together, you're always doing fellowship stuff together. It's amazing. But when you have friends that you come around and they gist with you and the gist does not have the beginning, does not have the end, you're just talking about anything. At some point you look at the sky again, what can we talk about again? Then cook up gist again and start talking of something again. It can be very, very annoying. And that's the about me. I don't really like visits like that. Ella is actually breaking that side of me, but my person.
Thank you, Ella.
I just like to be alone. I just do stuff, do other things, So I think that's my nature kind of reflected all through my stay in school. Then in the university, again, same thing happened. Always walking alone. Then people are like, what's this guy up so good? On his own. Then main matters was again, I'm short-sighted. I didn't have glasses, so I was just going. So people will be some sisters waving at me, Dami! I'm like, I can't see them. But it's not, maybe I have issues. But this guy is just so on his own. He doesn't really care about anyone, So I was really popular in school back then. I was popular. So I was really again, Dami. I was like, what's going on? So that was how it was for me. But again, it was fun because my circle was in drama group, drama group. We made movies together. We had stage productions together. So to me, that was the fun.
Oh wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Was that how it was with our college and university?
Yeah, that's why I said my life was just that, always on its own. I think the social part of me came up after school. Maybe when I got into, then I got social again through the drama department and everything. Most of the time, I was always on my own. I'm always this meditative person, and it's good because that's how you get to write great movies. You have to sometimes, exclude yourself, draw back and meditate and think.
I wish I was like that, man.
Because some social people do write amazing. Like my wife is social and she writes stuff, but when you're alone, sometimes you see things deeper than when you are all around.
Just right, I know this is opposite.
It's an opposite story. So
It's an opposite story. Primary school. Primary school was different for me. I had a lot of friends. I was always the leader of the pack kind of guy.
You're always the one that would say, guys, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's do this. And you see guys following me behind me and stuff. So I was like that up
Let's
to
go into the toilet. Me too. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. That was how we were. That was how it was. So secondary school kind of changed a little because secondary school I got junior secondary. That's high school. I got big, around, and I kind of had this low self-esteem. So it wasn't like primary school where I had my clique. Getting into secondary school, it was different, low self-esteem. So I had way less friends. You know, I couldn't even pinpoint to say this was the friend I had in junior secondary. That was in high school. But by the time I was getting to SS1 and I changed school, JS1 to 3, I was in OBMS. By the time I changed school to another college, to another high school, that school changed everything for me. My skill in art.
Let me guess this. BIC.
BIC. My skill in art became well known. People knew me for art. The school appreciated my talent, and I also began to grow tall. So I was changing, and everything changed again. So this time I just had a group of friends, and maybe one or two. But because I had that period of low self-esteem, I kind of sharpened my mindset to not just have a pack of people. Maturity setting. So that was how high school was. I became the head boy, fellowship president. So things got serious in secondary school. But still, I was also popular for being talented and so on and so forth.
Was there ever a time in your life
that I was like,
you were like Dami?
Yeah, GS1 to 3. Yeah, GS1 to 3. Because I mean, GS1 to 3, Dami was 2 classes ahead of me. I go to his class, he's ashamed of me. Why? Because I was always dirty, you know, and everything. And I always, and then like, oh my god, this guy. So he didn't even want to see me that much, you know. I didn't really have much friends like that because everybody had their cliques. So I was always trying to appeal to people to try and be friends. Back then I had guys that I was always feeling like if I'm not this person's friend anymore, I have nobody again. So I have to keep up with anything he throws at me because of that kind of thing. So that period of time was, yeah. But after that 3 years, no, it was done. Then university, university was something else, because I mean that's a different lifestyle. By that time, what I was studying was interesting, so people knew me for the creative type. So, and I wasn't, I mean, university was chilling. It was, let me just say, it was chilling. It was fine. Yeah.
It goes to both of you. So in high school, since you guys are popular now, like, do you guys still relate with, you know, the friends from college and high school and primary school? Like, do you still relate with them? And how has the relationship changed over?
Yeah, we get to relate with some, for some reasons. I think it's not just about popularity now. I think normally in life, when you leave that, even some of your friends, you don't rap like the way you used to when you were in secondary school. Like, you don't really talk like the way some of you. It's part of growth, you know. Because when you get to secondary school, when you get to the university, you meet these sort of people. So people in secondary school they'll tend to have other friends, you know. So you may not really connect the way you guys connected to when you were together in the secondary school. So now you're leaving secondary school, get to youth service, you do your youth service, that's National Youth Service Corps. You meet other people too. Alright, so you get close to those people. Then all these other guys too, you guys will keep in touch once in a while, but it's not going to be as much as when you guys were in the system. Now you finish youth service, you are now working. Everybody's doing things. They're also working. You know, so once in a while we actually check on each other. They call me, like, after we get our stuff, like, give me the baba. Recently they still called me, hey, Dami, how father, hey, you still touching and everything, you know. So that's kind of conversations we have. But in terms of deep conversations, like sitting down and talking about our vision and purpose, it's not as it used to be, because we are all doing different things now. We are all busy in our own different world, you know. Some people are into different things entirely, you know. So for me, I'm into the drama, so I need to really connect to people who are in my space, you know, because that's where I really grow, you know. So I think that's how it is in life. So that's for me. God help me, I'm not even a friendly person. I wish I was friendly, but that's growth, that's life for you. You connect to someone now, you talk and everything, but you are leaving that space, you are leaving that circle, you see new people, you connect to them again, you know. So, but that's not to say that we completely cut them off. No, I don't really cut off people. We still talk and everything, but it's not the depth of our conversation is not as deep as it used to be, right? Because of growth. Okay. I'm not just one-sided now, two sides. I'm growing and they're also growing. So.
How about you, Joshua? Is it the same thing?
Yeah, like Dami said, I think it applies to everyone generally. When you're confined to a space, like in primary school, you have a set of people that you rap with. Most of them are simply because you are in that space together. So you rap together, you talk together, everything. But when you get into a different space, when I remember when we were all talking about our secondary schools, oh, I'm going to Christ Ambassadors, I'm going to this, I'm going to that, I'm going to this. By the time we all went into different places, you all gather with a new set of friends. So you might keep in touch once in a while, but I mean, even back then there was no Facebook. I remember that time. So now getting into university again, you meet another bunch of people. So it's not about detaching from people because you are famous. It's just because you're in a new sphere. And same thing also works when you leave school and you start working. Your people, the people at your workplace, people that share the same visions, goals, and ideas will become your immediate circle. So that's how it is for me. Although because I had someone in secondary school, because when I got to SS, the senior secondary school, that's high school, and then I started having friends. I had one major friend, and it's someone I still keep in touch with till now. And I think that's also
better off.
Yeah, not even friends. It's that friends, Like and then in the university, I also had a friend that I talked with all the time. So we still keep in touch till now. So it's not even like we call to talk every time and everything. How was your day? No, it's more like we might not talk for months, but we know that I have this guy in Lagos. I have this guy in Ibadan that if I call today, we'll just for hours and keep up to date. So that's how it is for me. I don't have bunch of people that I keep in touch with because I'm terrible keeping in touch, but I have these people that
I can testify to that.
Like NYC, like NYC. When I was in NYC and NCCF, so in NCCF we all together in the place called the family house. That family house is where people come together, all of us, in the fellowship. That's where we sleep, that's where we eat, that's where everybody. So the brothers are upstairs, sisters are downstairs. So in the evening we all come together, we just talk and everything. So that happened for a year. That year was like 10 years. So we got to know each other more than even our friends in secondary school, because now you are sleeping with people, sleeping in the same house with people and everything. So we are so close and all that. Now the last day we are leaving, some of us are crying because we know that if you leave this place, it's not going to be like it used to be. It's going to be. So for some, since then I'm not actually spoken to them. But many of them, since then I'm not spoken to them till now, and it's just like that's how it is.
It is what it is. So my next question is, it's just basically from what Joshua said about when you were in GSS1 and GSS3, you had low self-esteem, and some people are having low self-esteem right now. So like, what are things you did and what are the things that God helped you with to come out of that stage, so that people out there can also...
I think I'll even let Dami talk first because he went through this stage longer than I did. He went through this stage. Am I wrong?
I don't know actually.
He wants you to beg him to talk. So
Dami, please.
I feel he went through that stage for a longer time than I did. I will speak about my own personal experience, but I feel he should, clear the bush in that conversation because he has skills through. God has helped his ministry.
All right, so for me, yes, it's not funny. It's not funny because then I was really young and I was in GSS1 then, so the people around me then, my roommates were not exactly people that we understood each other. You need to have the background before you
down.
So now I can't get to the point because if I get to the point, take over. If I get to the point, then there's no point even saying it in the first place. Right. Let's treat the foundation before treat the roots before. Alright, so these guys so sometimes I've been bullied before. I understand what it means to be really bullied. It's not funny. It tampers with your mindset, with your ego, with your understanding of who you are, with your understanding of your purpose. As a little boy, you begin to ask yourself questions like, what am I even living for? What am I here for? Am I worth anything? Is that the purpose? Is that a reason for my being alive? Because if someone can just look down on me and just depress me, at the time somebody I was eating, Bamiloye, what are you eating? What are you eating? took the food I'm eating, poured on me, poured on me and everything. I was shivering. I didn't know what to do. I was scared and everything. And I was crying. I was alone. You know, that kind of feeling was not funny. But I've discovered that that process was a building point for me. Even as depressing as that moment was, it was a building stage for me, because it kind of built me, shaped me, and made me a better person, even when I didn't realize it. Because now when I'm writing, I write from that depth, that experience. And I kind of understand. When I'm writing, I put myself in the shoes of the character. I enter the character so well that even almost all the characters, I understand that this person is going through a sad moment. I know what sadness really meant, because as a little boy, I went through that depressing time. So for me, generally, I would just summarize by saying that when we go through that dark moment of our lives, God could be using that moment to shape us into becoming a vessel that will use to pull so many people out of darkness into his light. So that dark period, Joseph had to go through his own dark period too, his dark experience, his dark moments. It was a depressing time. It was a time where he looked down on himself, but at the end of the day, there was lesson. He was able to pull the whole of Israel, the whole world out of darkness. You know, there was supposed to be a famine that was supposed to finish the whole world. Was able to pull them out of darkness. So that's what, you know, that moment is meant for. Yeah.
Oh, I'm giving the wrong face. No, I'm tapping into what he's saying. My face is just tired. I'm tapping into what he's saying, like, no, this is the wrong face. I should be like this. I'm giving the face. I'm fed up.
Yes, that's what you are.
Oh, Lord. I'm sorry, guys. He's making a lot of sense. Let me change my face. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I just want everybody to keep in mind, for those of us who want to overcome that kind of experience, low self-esteem, to always keep in mind, to keep more in mind what God says about you and not what people say about you. For example, people back when I was in OBMS, I remember that time, they looked at who I was physically and they said, no, he doesn't know anything, I wasn't even that brilliant again, you know. I never entered, there's something they call the commendation list, where top 20 students get into. I never got into that list, so I had always felt, okay, I have nothing, I don't know this and that and that. So low self-esteem usually comes from a place of not knowing who you are. Now, I mean, knowing that, oh, I know how to do this, I know how to do this. If someone comes to me and says, oh, you don't know anything, I'm like, God, look at my YouTube channel. I mean, have you seen this? You know, that's because I can say, oh, I know what I've done. But imagine someone in secondary school who hasn't even yet developed a portfolio, and then someone is saying you don't have anything, you don't know anything, you are nothing, you are nobody. So I want you to keep more in mind what God says about you. Every child of God is special. Every person that God has created is special. You just have to figure out what God has put inside of you. Okay, and this is not you being under pressure to say I must figure it out so that I can prove to these guys. No, don't look at it that way. Rather say you want to figure out for yourself. Do you understand what I'm saying? For yourself, figure out what God has created for yourself. You might not figure it out now, but you are not under pressure to figure it out right now. Just make sure that you look inward and figure that out as you walk with God, as you pray. There's something that my wife usually says when she's usually feeling alone, back before she found me and everything. She found this relationship with God such that she was always at peace when she prayed to God and she sang to God. She always felt God's presence in her life. So God was like her best friend. So God had told her many things that no guy could come and wow her, in quotes. No guy could say, oh, you're beautiful. God has told me that already and tell me something new. You understand? So that's what I want you to keep that in mind. Have that relationship with God such that when you have that relationship with God, he begins to tell you who you are to him. And then whatever anybody outside says will have zero effect on you. So your confidence, your strength, your happiness, your joy will not be from people's comments, but from the right standing of who you are in Christ. That's how I feel you deal with low self-esteem. That's what has helped me.
You just spoke wonderfully, and it leads to my second question. You guys basically answered it, but my second question was, you guys are doing great things in life. You know, you are helping people, you are drawing people to God and everything. And you know, just one question: a few years back, did you ever see yourself doing this great? And if you didn't, were there any doubts about the greatness, how great you become in life, and the success that God will give? Were there any doubt? Because for people like me, you know, as Dami would say, we're in school, like schooling years. How you said it, we're in school and everything, and in school you don't pay money, you don't get anything back. So like, and sometimes we have doubts that all this is a waste and nothing is not going to amount to anything, and you know, you have people saying that you're doing too much and you're doing things like that. It's not always about you, and it's not everything God and everything, that you're taking things too serious, things like that. So like, what did you have any doubts, you know, in your school years? Like, did you have any doubts in those years when you are processed and being trained by God? Do you have any doubts about the greatness that God has promised you? And if you had doubts, how did God strengthen that faith of yours?
Yeah, look at me first. Okay, there is always a point in every drama minister, in every minister of God. There will always be points where you feel, in fact, let me put it this way: if your vision isn't bigger than you, then you haven't yet gotten the vision. Every vision will always be bigger than you. And then for me personally, there are always times where there are always junctions in my life where I feel I've done my best, and I panic at those times. Many times when I do a song and then another film is coming and I have to do a song, and I feel, how can I top this? And then I feel that is the height. Maybe I'm going to be going down from there. There are times when I also feel like, how do I get up there from where I am right now? I feel those way a lot of times, but the assurance always comes from, you know, when God was leading the Israelites out of Egypt and then he got them out of Egypt, God was always referring to that moment to say, I was the God that led you out of the land of Egypt. The God that did that. You must always have something that you can look back and say, if God can do this, that was a few steps back, I am here. He's going to also take me a few steps forward. Because God will always remind you of the things that he has done. Nobody is in, I don't want to say anybody is in ground zero. You are alive. That's it. So there's the ground zero is death. So you are alive. You have a phone to be watching this on YouTube. You are probably in school. You are not in ground zero. So the God that has helped you to achieve those things, those are steps. And everybody's steps vary. Some people's steps are short, some people's steps are longer. So don't look at yourself and compare yourself to someone else to say, oh, when he was 19 he was already doing this. Look at me, I'm 19, I'm still here. No, some people don't get to that leap. I mean, some of us are talking about Juicy Oyinkon right now. When did we start? When did you know his name? 2019. And I'm sure he has been singing for years. Especially I've been singing for years. But his moment where the burst was this past few years. Same thing with someone like Nathaniel Bassey. I've been singing for a long time. So our timing is different. So don't ever feel that what I'm doing right now is a waste. This NYSC, this school I'm in, what am I even doing here? You never know what God wants to gather together to use for that journey that he wants to prepare you on. So the most important thing is for you to stay connected to God. Why? Because in that process there are many things that he'll be teaching you, that he'll be telling you, you know, that you are going to use for that journey. And missing it at this point in time, to feel discouraged and then lose hope, can be drastic. It could be really bad. So it's very important that you keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's well said. For me, two things. That's why it's very important for someone to have. Number one, vision. Number two, purpose. Those two things are very important. They are key, because you need to understand your reason for living, as in the why you're on earth. Why are you here? Why are you living? What's the reason? What's the assignment God has for you? Now, having that in mind helps you to have that vision, you know. So for me, God has given, since I was young, God has always been giving me the picture. It may not be detailed, but at least I could see a picture of how tomorrow is going to be like. You know, even though what is happening now may not correspond, may not connect to the future, but seeing that vision, having that vision is key, because it helps you to keep going. It keeps you going, even when you are tired. You know, the journey, you get tired. Trust me, things around you frustrate you. You know, but you just have to keep going, because you know that God has shown you that picture, and it's that picture that you just keep looking at. It's that picture that gives you the fuel, the energy to keep going. You know, I'll give you an illustration. I'm talking about what Joshua said. Everybody's time is different. Imagine a truck and a car that they're supposed to load up stuff, probably equipment to a destination, and there is a lot of things to load, you know. So the truck is not as fast as the car. The truck is really big. Imagine a big lorry or something really big, you know. So if you are loading the truck now, it takes time, it goes in its own pace, but the car would have gone like 10 times. But if the truck should look at the speed at which the car is moving, sometimes it gets jealous. It can get jealous and say, this car has actually gone ahead of me and has come back and it's still taking more loads, and it's still going and coming back, taking more loads, going and coming back, taking more loads, whereas I'm just going at my own pace. But if the truck should look deeply, you understand that what he's carrying is way bigger than what the car can carry. At once it can carry like 10,000 loads, and once it gets to destination, it does once, it gets the job done once. Whereas the car has to go and come back, go and come back. So sometimes we measure our success in regards to speed, not in terms of what God has put inside of us, what we carry. If you know that what you carry is big, you won't rush. You allow God to build you up in His own time. Knowing fully because that you carry so much that you cannot just rush like a car. Because you are carrying so much, something too heavy. You need to go in God's space and allow God to direct you, because we're in a society where everything is so rushed up. People want to just force you to do things that you're not even ready for. And everybody is, the social media is not even helping, because people are giving us a picture of what success is. Like
false picture
of what success is. Taking a picture in front of a car, doing this thing just to rush every other person up, you know. So this is my new crib, this is where I live now, this is where I'm made now. I used to be from down zero, I did this and that, but still God's time is the best. Don't allow anyone to rush. You know, just the most important thing is having that purpose, then seeing that vision. Since I was in secondary school, by God's grace, God has been giving us a picture. God has been giving me a vision of how tomorrow is, and I'm seeing it now happening. And even now, the beautiful thing is that I'm still seeing the vision of tomorrow. You know, I've not yet gotten there, and so it keeps me going. Once there is no vision, then there's a big problem.
Yep.
You know, in fact, the most dangerous person, in fact, the most useless life to live is not the worst thing that can happen to someone. It's not death, actually. It's somebody who doesn't understand his reason for living. His purpose for living. You know? So that's
when I'm saying deep.
Very, very important.
Deep. That was amazing. I personally learned something, because that answered questions that I personally had. And before Esther starts chasing me out here,
I've already started.
Question is, how did you choose your friends? You know, yeah, basically, how did you choose your friends?
How do you choose your friends? That's a very good question. Well, for someone like Lawrence, where we met, to be honest, where we met was in the gathering of ministers in Redemption Camp. In fact, that's where we met, I think, once or twice or 3 times. You know, there is this place where children of ministers would eat, and that's where we used to. And that was the first time I came in contact with Lawrence and his brother, and then we talked well, you know. So when you now ask, how do you choose your friends? In the place of your calling, you see people of like minds. That's the way it is. You can't. I mean, if I'm a minister of God, okay, I won't go to a bar to look for, or a club to look for friends. It will be, a footballer will not go to an orchestra place to look for friends. It will be in that athletic circle that he will see his friends. You see,
that's why you see celebrities.
You see that you see them hanging around. You see Pogba having drinks with Ronaldinho. You see all those, because they are in the circle of what they are doing. So as a drama minister or a music minister, I'm into music as well. Then I saw Lawrence too, who is into music. And I remember back then when he was playing his songs, the early songs that he did, I was like, oh, this is so nice. When are you guys going to release this and that? And they were talking, because I can relate, I can connect. And I saw that these people were people who had a right heart. It was easy for us to connect. So when you ask, how do you choose your friends? People who are in the same circle of your ministry and your calling, and people who have the right heart, you will connect. I believe that answers for you too.
Yeah, but it's not actually hard, you know, to make friends. So for me, it's not hard at all. But now, there are normal friends, and there are also what I call covenant friends.
Yeah.
Now, having normal friends is easy. It's easy. We can meet now and we're talking about something that connects us together, and we just become friends. You know, it's but that has not yet brought that person to a place of being a covenant friend. That's much deeper. You know, that's much more, you know, deeper. So that level is not everybody that can be your friend in terms of being a covenant friend. It's not everybody that you can discuss things with, discuss important details of your life with. You know, so and those ones are very few. I have so many friends, but I have very few covenant friends that I discuss details of my life with.
That's true.
That's what. How did you choose the covenant?
You know, as I said, you know, now when you find out that together we are having this, we have the same purpose, we have the same vision, we can connect easily. You know, now somebody who doesn't understand what I'm doing, person may not even be in drama, but appreciates the call of God upon my life. And I also appreciate the call of God upon.
And there's something about
and it's deeper. It's even better. It's deeper than even being drama, being no drama. This is the way different. It's God. Actually, God does the connection.
It's God that
because
actually
we have
people.
friends like that.
Yeah, it's God that links people.
They are both brothers too. One is also in drama. One is also in music. Yeah. The one in drama also wants drama ministry. The one in music to do amazing things. Oh yeah. But there's this connection.
Yeah. I think it's a spirit thing. There is no theory to say
it's a spirit thing.
We
connect in a massive way and we achieve things in a bigger way because it's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual connection. And spiritual connection is even very strong. So strong.
So there's no theory to it. There's some people you just meet and your heart to just connect with them. There's no, you can't say, oh, it's because I saw. No.
I know the funniest thing. I know the funniest thing. We have now for one said, you are my friend.
Can we be friends?
Or can we be friends?
That is so weird.
We've never for once said,
you don't need to say that. No.
We've never for once even said, you're my covenant friend, I'm your covenant friend. But we know.
Yeah. So guys, on social media, please let us not do that anymore. No ask, can we be friends? Right. Come to the right place. Come to the circle of prime ministers.
I don't
get involved.
We've never even appreciated our friendship. Like,
we've never said it that way.
That this friendship is
celebrate our friendship
with blood. Let us celebrate this friendship with blood. Covenant
5 years.
Yes, this friendship shall last. We've not done that before.
Yeah,
we
don't do that.
We know there's something deeper about this friendship that makes us achieve things together in a very fast way. You know?
That was a lovely session. Thank you so much, Jemaike and D-Baba for
Dami. D-Baba.
Thanks a lot, Jemaike and Dami, for answering my questions and our questions that were compiled for a while now. And I'm Ruth Jarrett, Ruth in the roster J, and I'll be handing over to the third. Never see that outside.
Can you answer the
It's to the third investor J. What? No. I'll be handing over to Esther in the roster J. All right.